Good evening and welcome to our business overview. This is the Sylvester, WAYLAND, Woodbury, Griffin, Pogue, Puckett's business overview for master agencies. And my name is Marshall WAYLAND, host for tonight. A little bit about myself. I was a mortgage broker for 20 years, but I started with Symmetry Financial in 2012. And reached up to executive vice president. I've been on the advisory board and currently run a master agency anywhere from $700,000 to $1 million a month of annual premium, and we'll go through that in a little bit, what that means, and a little bit about Symmetry Financial Group, located in Swannanoa, North Carolina, right outside of Asheville, North Carolina. Established back in 2009, has about 500 agents, 42 national managers, 6 advisory board members, and basically we're doubling every year since 2009, and it's mainly because of the 3 people below, Brian Pope, Casey Watkins, and Brandon Ellison. They're the 3 owners of the company, founders of the company. And these guys are true road warriors. They're, they started as just like agents, just like us, worked themselves up through our system, and basically have, 60, 70 years of business experience in the insurance industry. And honestly, just the integrity of these people are bar none the best. And they really, they've developed this program so that everybody can be profitable from day one all the way up to the end of your all's career. So that's a little bit about our company. It was voted one of the best places to work by Experience Magazine, which is a popular college graduate magazine, published it as one of the 10 best places to work in America. And anytime I'm looking for a company to work with, I check out the Internet. Of course, you can always get crazy things on the Internet, but Glassdoor.com seems to be a pretty decent one. But I advise you to do your due diligence there and go ahead and check out the Internet. This is our master key agency manager, Mr. Dick and Connie Sylvester. Honestly, they're basically the insurance gurus of the industry, my mentor. It's been a blessing to get to know these guys, and they're just true, salt of the earth people. They'll do anything in the world for you, and they're master agencies here. And then we have agency directors. Agency directors mean that we have an agency manager who has created other agency managers. So typically, the agency directors are doing over $100,000 or more a month of annual premium. First one here is Christy Woodbury. Then we have Mr. Larry Griffin. Then we go to Mr. Rob Puckett, and then Mr. Edward Puckett, and then Jacob Pogue are all agency directors with our company. The next layer down are agency managers, and agency managers typically are doing an agency of $50,000 of annual premium and above, and getting ready to turn into agency directors. And currently we have agency manager Lisa Brown, Kent Bachman, Mike Casey, Rita Law, Sean Shannon, Pete Beckman, and Brandon Hall, and Ryan and Michelle Miller currently are our agency managers within our group here. Excuse me. And then the next level are called key leaders, which key leaders are people that are just under the $50,000 a month of annual production, and they're about ready to break out on their own as agency managers. And that would be Scott and Kelly Sturm, Eileen Balmer, Carl Miller, and also Tyler Miller. Again, these are our leaders. A lot of these people are your coaches, your teammates, people who are going to be helping you and guiding you along the way once you get first started in our industry, because we do have pretty much everybody's assigned personal coaches here, and these are people that you're going to be working with. So let's get right into it here. Our business partners, as you can see here, guys, they're one of the tops in the country, all A-rated companies. and these are just a few. We have over 20 more. And the reason why we have a variety of different carriers is for a lot of different reasons. One is that not every person or client in America may qualify for the tip-top product. Occasionally clients are a little unhealthy. We're Americans. We like to eat our burgers. So there are times whenever we have to find a different policy for somebody who has probably been or may have been declined elsewhere. So we have a variety of different carriers so that we can get everybody that we see qualified for a product. And then we also, other reason why I like having a variety of different carriers is because, you have a choice to who you want to work with. And you get to know the carriers and the underwriters directly. You'll be able to call in directly to them to get all your answers, questions, and taken care of so that you can get your clients qualified. Another reason why I like these carriers and the way Symmetry has put this together is these are the guys who pay me and pay you. I'm not really worried that Mutual of Omaha is not going to pay me one day. These are all billion-dollar carriers. We don't get paid by Symmetry. We get paid directly by these billion-dollar carriers. So, and most of them pay on a daily basis. The policy gets issued and you get paid. So, there are some that pay once a week, but honestly, guys, I love that system. That money goes right into my bank account every time a policy gets issued. So that's a little bit about our business partners. They've actually developed these products for us to go out and market. Some of them, these are exclusive products that only here at Symmetry can use anywhere in the country. We're just, these products some of these are just made just for us to use. So that's why I love these carriers. So those are our business partners. A little bit about our products. Basically the main product is our mortgage protection. Simply, that's a term insurance policy to pay off the home if a husband or wife dies. It also has a bunch of riders with it that can be very, very advisable and electable for the client when you're sitting in front of them. It's very nice to be able to offer them a disability insurance policy that is attached to this program. So in case of an accident, basically they're going to pay off the house payments until they're back up on their feet again. And in case of a critical illness, cancer, heart attack, something like that that's pretty serious, a lot of Americans can't go for 6 months or a year fighting off cancer and not make their mortgage payments simply because they're not working. They can't make payments on their mortgage. Now they're getting foreclosed on. Well, here, these are what these policies come into play with. We're going to be able to make these payments until they get back on their feet again. The worst thing you can think of is, they fought for their life and they beat cancer, but they have no home to go back to. So this is what these policies do. Also, one of my favorite riders on these policies is called a return of premium. Basically, at the end of the term, we're going to pay all the payments back to the client and tax-free. It's like a forced savings plan. So if the client passes, within 20 or 30 years, whatever the term may be, we're going to pay a large benefit to the beneficiary. If the client is still alive and they're kind enough to be alive after 20 or 30 years, we're going to pay them all their money back. It's a win-win situation. That's a little bit about our products, and let's go into the commissions on these products. The average family that you protect is going to cost that family about $85 a month. Well, when I got into this business, I thought, I'm going to have to sell a heck of a lot of these to make a monthly living. But what happens is the insurance companies pays you in advance. What they do is they take that $85 times 12 months, and that's approximately $1,000, and that's what AT stands for, annual premium. That's what we were talking about earlier, about how much our organizations are doing an annual premium every month. So this case scenario, your average family you're going to go out and sit down with, the average is going to be about $85 a month. And your start commission is up to 60%. Some products are lower, some products are higher, but on an average, it's about 60% when you very first start. So that means when that policy issues, your first year commission on that is going to be $600. Not bad for sitting down in front of a family for about an hour or so and getting to know them. And that's basically what you're doing here. Now, the carriers, what they'll do is they're going to pay you 75% of that up front. So the day that policy gets issued, they're going to give you 75% of $600, which is $450. Now they're going to pay the rest of that money in month 10, 11, and 12. So 10, 11, and 12, you're going to get $50 in this case scenario that just kind of comes out of the blue. So it's kind of a nice case scenario. Now, guys, here at Symmetry, we want you to get promoted every 2 months. You can go all the way up to 110% plus company bonuses, and that's very incredible. That's something to talk about later. But you start working up on these higher levels. Your commission when you sit down with one family gets quite high. But we'll go through that here shortly. Other products, guys. When you're in the home, we're seeing lots of people that need fixed indexed annuities. What these do is they save the baby boomers problem. Baby boomers can't afford to lose money anymore. So there's guaranteed no loss. And there's a lifetime income rider availability, meaning that, when they get ready to retire, maybe Social Security is not going to be around. We don't know. But with these annuities, you have a lifetime guaranteed written contract that they will have an income for life. So tons and, trillions and trillions of people, or trillions and trillions of dollars are being transferred into these annuities right now. And there's no better place to do that when you're sitting in front of a family and they gain your trust while sitting there and you're able to help them out with an annuity. Most of the times, people are happy. The clients are so much more happier than you are when you leave the table, even though you're going to be getting a commission on these annuities. Typically, the commissions on these, the average annuity is about $50,000. Average is about 5% commission to you. So you're looking at about a $2,500 commission on that small little annuity. Not bad. Not a bad day's work. And honestly, guys, you should write at least one of these policies a month. They're not that difficult. They're just simply getting to know the client, asking them, how safe they feel about their money being in the market or something like that. And all of a sudden, you're in a fixed, guaranteed indexed annuity. Other products, guys, while you're in the home, Index Universal Life. Basically, it's a life insurance and tax-free savings plan. It's basically known as the wealthy man's plan because and they also have a fast start program to it for the babies. Many people call that a $1 million baby program. Basically, how this works is the average monthly payment that a client will pay on this gets a little bit higher simply because it's a savings plan. It's a retirement type of plan for them. So the average monthly payment on these programs is about $300. So let's do an example. You have a 45-year-old man, and he's going to pay the premium for 20 years. All right. He's going to have a death benefit of about $214,000 for that coverage. Now he can stop making payments at age 65 if he desires to. And at that point, he has put into his payments a total of $72,000. Well, he can surrender it at that point, and they'll give him $93,000 back. Not a bad deal. They've had the coverage all those years, and that money has been increasing. Now, there's another option. This, again, is at 65, again, 20 years after he started it, he can pull out $13,000 yearly for the rest of his life, tax-free, and still have a death benefit. Guys, that's not bad. That is an awesome deal. We offer, and these programs are going off the shelves like hotcakes. I mean, it's just an awesome program. It is a little bit more technically. You got to really know yourself. The main products are mortgage protection. These are a little bit more advanced. Okay, so let's go into commissions on that. So $300 a monthly, so that's at 3,600 AP. And that 36 AP, and on those commissions, a lot of times on the EIULs, are a little bit lower. So let's go with 50% on that. So you're looking at about $1,800 commission on that client. Final expenses, guys, 10,000 people a day are turning 65. Basically when we send out mailers, they just come back in droves because, people get to the age of 65 and they retire. And they find out once they retire, all their benefits go away at their job, or they may be allowed to take their benefits, but the premiums go so high that the clients can't keep them. So they need the products. They need these final expense products. So when we send out mailers, they just come back in droves. We get tons of them, and we get paid the same commission as we do as the mortgage protection plan. I like it because it's daytime work. And now let's get into the training, guys. Training here is impeccable. That's what our Symmetry really stands out for, simply because we do a lot of it online. Everything is, we can train people whether you live in California, Virginia, Maine, Florida, it doesn't matter. Everything is done online with a fast track system. We have tons of videos, MP3s that we're listening to all the time. We have weekly conference calls that you're just constantly learning from the best all the time. We have national conferences twice a year where everybody gets together for 2 or 3 days straight and go through particular classes that you can pick out yourself. We usually have 50 to 60 classes that you can pick out and set it through and go through and learn about the annuities, learn about final expense, or learn about new products coming down the road from the carriers. Then we have regional boot camps going all over the country also, where you'll get to meet some of our top agents, top producers, and you'll get some of the meet of our top managers on all these places. And then, best of all, you got personal mentors, guys. See, our mentors have been where you are, and they want to help you out. I mean, that's the best thing about Symmetry. That everybody wants to help people out here, simply because one reason is, they don't get paid a dime until you go out and make a dollar. This is different. This is a different industry, man. You don't get paid a nickel or a dime until you help somebody go out and make a dollar. So our mentors, our coaches, our managers are one of the best in the industry. They're very sincere, and they want to help you out, and that's the main thing. We're going to help you from start to finish in this system. Now, you know what the products are. The training is phenomenal. But how do you get the clients? That's typically the biggest problem in selling life insurance, mortgage protection, annuities, anything. How do you get clients? And most companies, you're calling through the phone book, or you're going through your friends and neighbors. We're really not interested in that. Well, you can go door knock. I mean, that's some of the other business plans. I mean, they're very good plans. I'm sure people make money at it, but we like to make a lot of money, and we like to protect a lot of families. So what we do is, guys, we mail out letters like this to people who've just bought a home or refinanced a home in your area. And, most of those letters get thrown away. But the people who read this letter, and they're going to take their pen out, and they're going to fill out their names, their birth dates, their phone numbers, best times to call, and they're going to fold it up and send it back in a postage-paid envelope and mail it back to our company. That's like a lead with gold. Somebody actually really wants our product. And you know what the thing of it is? Only 1% come back. So if we mail out 100 of these letters, one will come back. The good thing is that's the one person you want to talk to. They actually want the product. So now all you got to do is use our scripts for phone scripts, because you will call the people. You'll set up a time to go out and sit and see them, help them pick out the best mortgage protection product that best suits the family, best suits their budget, and help them fill out the paperwork. It's as simple as that. But I'll never say it's easy. You're always going to have to do work in this business. You know, you still do have to make phone calls. You still do have to go out and see the clients. Sometimes they're not there. Sometimes they reschedule. So it's not going to be easy. But if you work hard, you make a lot of money, and I'll promise you that. And if you want to get into building a business, you'll make even more. But we'll get into that shortly. Now, there is a lead cost, guys. You know, our company mails these leads out. In Symmetry, what they do is they mail out just thousands and thousands and thousands of letters. And as I mentioned, most of them don't come back. But what it does is it costs the company about $60 to produce one lead. Just one lead. It's going to cost that company about $60. Well, we're not going to charge you $60. The company is going to let our agents purchase the leads anywhere from 50 cents to $26.50. Obviously, the $26.50 are the brand new ones. They're exclusive to you. When you purchase that lead has just came in, and that lead is good to you for 5 weeks. After that, then it goes down into our bonus system, where you can start buying it at $5, $4, $3, $2, $1.50. So there is a bonus lead system there, and all leads work, guys. That's the beautiful thing about mortgage protection. Just because the client wasn't ready to buy today doesn't mean 6 months to a year from now they won't be ready to buy. It's crazy how this business is. And a lot of times, even if you get new leads, sometimes people don't pick up the phones for a while. But then, 6 months later, you buy it as a $2 lead, and all of a sudden now you've got an appointment and you're going in and sitting down with the product. So there are a lot of different ranges. You don't have to buy leads, but there is the lead cost. Final expense leads a little bit less expensive, starting out about $17 a piece. And again, as I mentioned, you don't have to buy the leads, but all of our top agents do, because they know that if they purchase the leads, they're going to make a lot of money off of them. Okay, it's your choice, because here's the deal. Most of our top agents are going to spend $300 to $500 a week purchasing leads, and yeah, they do purchase those leads up front. You don't put them on a type of thing where you'll pay it eventually. You do pay it on a credit card or something up front. It's kind of like a franchise. If you go into, let's say, a sub shop, you walk into a sub shop, they've got to have all the meat, and lettuce, and tomato, and everything there. That's what they need to have their supplies to be able to sell their sandwiches and stay in business. It's called their resources. Well, our resources are the leads. So we need fresh leads every week, and that's why our agents will purchase these leads every week, and they'll have fresh leads to talk to. And the nice thing is you get to buy your own income here. For example, that $300 to $500 a week in leads, it'll get you about 10 to 15 appointments every week. And if you have a closing ratio of just 30%, which I think is extremely low, barring what the lead is, that means you're going to sell about 5 policies a week, which is pretty much average. And average commission is about $500 per sale. Well, you look at 5 times $500, that's $2,500 a week of income. Yeah, maybe you've spent $300 or $500, but still it's a pretty darn good weekly income on a beginner's contract. Now, again, you want to get promoted every 2 months. Well, if you do $7,500 annual premium for 2 months in a row, we promote you from 60 to 65%. 10,000 2 months in a row, you go to 70%. 15,000, 75. 25,000, 80%. 50,000, you go to 85%. And guys, the nice thing is here too is you can do it on your own production, or you can hire 1 or 2 people. Really not, just simply invite them to this business and let your mentors, let your coaches, let your managers train your friends, or whoever else you might want to bring into business with, and their volume counts as your volume so that you can get promoted. So in other words, let's say you come in and you do 2,500 and your two buddies do 2,500. That equates to 7,500. Well, do that 2 months in a row, you get promoted to 65%. Not a bad deal. You can get promoted all the way up to 110% plus executive bonuses here. That's when the money gets real crazy. We'll go on another slide on that, but it gets real crazy at that point. So let's look at your commissions at 80%. Let's say you've been here for a couple months. You've increased your commission. You protected a family, the same AP, the $1,000 AP. So now you're at $800 first-year commission. That's $200 more than what you were at before because you were at 60%. So just 10 sales a month, you're at $8,000 a month. 12 sales a year, or 12 months equals $96,000 a year income. Not bad, almost $100,000 a year income. And to me, I think that's pretty well on a part-time-ish basis. I don't think that's a full-time, just selling 10 policies a month. A lot of our agents currently do sell more than 10 policies a week. So 10 a month, I don't think it's too difficult. So let's look at it, too, is, again, while during that month, you should be selling probably at least one small little annuity, it's $2,500, one little EIUL, an additional $1,800, and then your personal mortgage protection of $8,000. So, guys, that's $12,300 on a monthly basis at this point. That is not a bad income, guys. Not a bad income for you. Going out and selling is a pretty good job and pretty good career here. Now, many of you guys may come and say, well, this is a pretty good deal. I want to bring a couple people that I know on to this business and hopefully build my agency. And this is where you can start receiving passive income from your agency. So let's take an example. Let's say you live up in, say, Michigan, and you're doing about $10,000 a month of annual premium, and you know somebody up in Maine that's doing about $5,000 just part-time, and you know a guy in D.C. that's part-time, just has about $5,000 AP too, and you have another part-timer down in Atlanta. That guy just happened to know a buddy down in Atlanta. Well, guys, this is crazy to think, but this little agency is going to bring you in about $132,000 a year, and that's really not even counting your annuities and EIUL business. And let me explain how that works. Well, again, you write your 10 policies a month. That's 80% of that is $8,000. So your guy in Boston is at 60%, and he writes $5,000. That guy in D.C. is at 60%, and he writes $5,000. And that guy in Atlanta, he writes $5,000. Well, guess what? You now have called a 20% spread or override because you're at 80%, they're at 60%. So at this point, you have a 20% override on your team. Well, your team did $15,000 worth of annual protection. That's the three guys that are on your team. Well, 20% of that $15,000 is $3,000. Well, where does that go? That goes to you. It goes into your commission. So $8,000 that you did plus the $3,000 equals $11,000 a month. Guys, any way you look at it, that's about $132,000 a year income. And again, that's not included any annuities or IULs. It starts to get crazy. Now let's look at building this agency. Let's say you have 10 agencies or 10 writers at this point. 10 writers times 5,000. Let's say they're all just part-time. Just very part-time. They're just looking at it part-time, just trying it part-time. That's fine. We love people that are part-timers. 10 people doing that, that's $50,000 management. You ended up, let's say you have still a 20% override on your $50,000. Guys, that's a $10,000 a month income coming into your overrides. You're receiving $10,000 a month and plus whatever you write. Again, guys, not a bad deal. Income's starting to come into your bank account. Your life is starting to change a little bit. And now let's look at building this business a year later. Guys, a year later, now you have about 30 agents. 30 agents on your agency, and let's pretend they're all part-time. It's crazy, but let's say they're all part-time, only doing $5,000 a month. Well, again, this is a small $150,000 agency. and let's say your spread's still around 20%, guys, that's a $30,000 a month override on that agency. That's monthly coming into your account. Guys, this can happen. I've been here just a little over 3.5 years, and my little agency's doing about about $700 to $1 million every month, and the income is just getting crazier and crazier. And the thing of it is I can't stop it, and nor would I want to, but I just can't. And with all the agency managers that are on our group, it just doesn't stop. They're keeping on producing. They keep on bringing more people into the agency because it just keeps growing. We're providing a great service. People want our product, and we're making some money at it. Some of us making a lot of money at it, and you can too. If you're $30,000 a month in overrides, you may still want to do personal production if you want. I know, my mentor, Dick Sylvester, he still likes to go out in the field maybe one day a week just because that's his passion. He enjoys doing that. I don't know what your passion is. I like to spend time with the family and be on my boat and just relax. I love my time and my money at this point. And, to be able to be in this position after 3.5 years is it's crazy to have money and time. And also the relationships that I've built with my managers and my friends. They become best friends. I get to work with who I want. I get to work with, where I want and when I want. What better way in America do you have right now? And you're providing the best products available. So, guys, this is freedom. It is to me. Honestly, it's freedom. It's freedom to have time and money. Guys, I don't know if this is for you, but if it is, you have to get licensed, have to get your life insurance license. You have to have a good background record, no felonies, anything like that, major credit issues, major issues as far as bankruptcies recently. But if they're a while back, it's not a big deal. So you would have to get your life insurance license. Typically, it's an online course. Most of them charge you about $149 for the course, and then you go take your state test. As soon as you pass that state test and you get your license, that's really when our training steps in with your personal coach on a daily basis for production. And if you're wanting to build an agency, that's kind of whenever you and I start working on a daily basis. That's what I do. I enjoy doing it. I love traveling around the United States. I go around doing boot camps all over the country because I love getting around and meeting people. So that's what I like to do. That's my passion. So let's get that done. Let's get that state test done. It's not that difficult. I think you got to score 70 out of 100 to pass the test. So let's go get her done. But the next thing you need to do is you need to schedule an interview with the person who invited you to this WebEx. You want to get to know your coach, your mentor, your managers. So you need to give them a call right away and let them know that you want to take the next step. Okay?